The early Islamic period was a time of immense political and social upheaval. After the assassination of Caliph Osman, the Muslim world found itself teetering on the edge of civil war. The murder of Osman marked a dramatic turning point, but it was not the end of the turmoil. The real challenge to his successor, Caliph Ali, came in the form of a rebellion led by none other than Aisha, the Prophet's wife. She, along with other influential figures, used Osman's death as a rallying cry against Ali's rule, igniting a conflict that would tear the empire apart. However, to fully understand the magnitude of the crisis that followed Osman's death, we must first rewind the clock to the time before his demise. Osman, despite his many achievements, had made critical errors in his leadership. His nepotism was one of the most significant causes of the political instability that followed. As the leader of the Umayyad clan, Osman lifted his family from their status as a wealthy Meccan tribe to the position of kingmakers in the caliphate. His favoritism toward his relatives was clear, as he appointed them to key positions, including the governorships of Egypt and Kufa, causing discontent among the early Muslims of Medina. This preferential treatment angered many, particularly the companions of the Prophet who had fought by his side. They saw Osman's actions as a return to the tribalism of pre-Islamic Arabia, a sharp contrast to the ideal of Islamic unity and justice that had been established under the first two caliphs, Abu Bakr and Umar. The caliphate had been meant to transcend tribal divisions, but under Osman's rule, clan politics took center stage once again. This alienated many, leading to unrest. The most significant figure in this upheaval was Osman's cousin Muawiya. Once a minor regional governor during the reign of Caliph Umar, Osman appointed him the governor of Syria. Muawiya had quickly become one of the most powerful figures in the caliphate, largely thanks to Osman's patronage. He built a formidable navy and brought great wealth to Syria through his naval campaigns. But his influence would ultimately play a crucial role in the events that followed Osman's death. Upon Osman's assassination, Muawiya, confident in his power, refused to recognize Ali as the legitimate caliph. He demanded justice for the murder of Osman and openly declared his opposition to Ali's rule. Ali, on the other hand, moved quickly to consolidate his power, deposing many of Osman's appointees, including Muawiya. But Muawiya, backed by significant political and military support, refused to back down. He and his supporters gathered forces, preparing for a confrontation with Ali. The stage was set for what would become one of the most significant battles in Islamic history, the Battle of Siffin. Before the two armies could meet in battle, a series of skirmishes took place, but the real clash occurred on the banks of the Euphrates River in June 657. When Ali's forces arrived at Siffin, they found the Syrian cavalry blocking access to the only source of water for miles. This was a critical mistake on Muawiyah's part, as it led to a loss of sympathy among Ali's troops. In the harsh desert heat, Ali's forces fought back fiercely, securing the water and giving them a morale boost. For the next several weeks, both sides engaged in a series of raids, skirmishes, and personal duels. But despite these exchanges, neither side committed to full-scale battle, as both sides were hesitant to escalate the conflict further. A ceasefire agreement was reached on June 19, but the negotiations failed to yield any significant progress. Finally, on July 26, the two armies met in a battle that would last for 3 days and 3 nights. The battle was brutal, with each side pushing and pulling for the advantage. On the first day, the battle was largely inconclusive, with neither side gaining a clear upper hand. On the second day, Muawiyah's forces came close to defeating Ali's army, driving his right wing into disarray. However, reinforcements led by the fierce Malik al-Ashta managed to halt Muawiyah's advance. The third day of fighting was the bloodiest, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. However, Ali's forces seemed to have the upper hand, driving Muawiyah's troops back and forcing him to relocate his tent for safety. Just as it appeared that Ali's army would secure victory, a surprising development occurred. Muawiyah's forces raised Qur'ans on their lances as a sign of truce, appealing to Ali to enter into arbitration instead of continuing the fight. Despite the heavy pressure from his generals and supporters, many of whom were eager to press on, Ali agreed to the truce, seeing it as an opportunity to bring about peace without further bloodshed. This decision, however, would prove to be one of the most significant and controversial of Ali's reign. The two sides nominated arbitrators to settle the dispute over Osman's murder and the rightful caliph. Muawiyah appointed Amr ibn al-As, while Ali chose Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, a respected but somewhat neutral figure from Kufa. The arbitrators were tasked with determining who had the right to rule the Muslim world, but the arbitration process was fraught with tension and disappointment. As the months passed, it became clear that the arbitration would not yield a favorable result for Ali. The final verdict, issued in April 658, declared Muawiya the rightful caliph, effectively deposing Ali. Ali, however, refused to accept the decision, seeing it as a political maneuver rather than a true religious judgment. This decision marked the beginning of a new crisis for Ali. Among his supporters, a faction known as the Kharijites, or those who secede, began to grow in strength. These radical militants rejected both Ali's and Muawiyah's rule, believing that only God had the authority to determine the rightful caliph. Tensions escalated, and the Kharijites soon rebelled, marching toward Nahrawan to carve out their own independent power base. Ali, reluctant to fight yet another civil war, attempted to reason with the Kharijites, offering them the chance to return to his cause. However, the majority of their ranks refused to back down, leading to a confrontation in July 658. The battle at Nahrawan was swift and brutal, resulting in the defeat of the Kharijites. But the cost of this victory was high, and it did little to resolve the broader political crisis that had engulfed the caliphate. The Battle of Siffin, the subsequent arbitration, and the rise of the Kharijites marked a pivotal moment in Islamic history. Ali's refusal to accept the verdict of the arbitration weakened his position, and his struggle with Muawiyah would continue for years to come. Ultimately, these events would set the stage for the eventual split of the Muslim world, leading to the division between Sunni and Shia Islam. The legacy of these battles, the political intrigue, and the ideological divides that followed continue to shape the Muslim world to this day. Thank you so much for watching, my beautiful brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoyed this story and found some inspiration in it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.